Article 13 is finally upon us, and the vote is happening on the 12th of September in Strasbourg in France. What Article 13 means is that there would be a great filter added onto the internet to examine all content before it gets uploaded, and it would identify whether or not any of that content has breached any copyright, and it would decide whether it would be allowed to go online or if it couldn't go online. And one of the biggest backers of Article 13 is music companies, because obviously they want to protect their revenue. Obviously, so much content gets uploaded to the internet that it is completely impossible to have a human eye on every single piece of content, so the only way for them to correctly do it would be to adopt an algorithm. And as we've experienced with YouTube, algorithms are far from perfect. They need a lot more work, and what would end up happening is stuff that doesn't even breach Article 13 would be falsely flagged, as we've seen massively throughout YouTube, Google, and just all of the other platforms. Algorithms are not perfect, they are far from it. Also, the concept of a great filter that analyses everything before it's allowed to go online is an extremely scary concept, because right now it's getting used for copyright, but then eventually they'll realise that they can use this great filter to censor terrorist content, which people will support. Then they'll realise they can use it to censor violent content, which again, people will support. But then they'll realise they can use it to censor hate speech, and so on. You see where this is going. Article 13 is a step towards creating a literal Ministry of Truth, but instead of it being this physical dark grey building looming on the horizon, it would instead be manifested as this unseen algorithm, proving or disapproving of anything that gets posted online, basically having control of what information you get to access. Article 13 is just a stepping stone towards complete control of what information people have access to, and remember, China didn't happen overnight. It all started with baby steps just like this. So it's extremely important that we make sure that Article 13 gets rejected on the 12th. One of the first votes that will be happening that day is people will be voting on amendments that have been put forward to the legislation. These amendments have been put forward to weaken Article 13 as much as possible, just in case it does actually get put through. One of the most important amendments that's getting put forward is if there is a contradiction between a nation-state's own laws and the laws in Article 13, then the nation-state's laws take precedent. So that means that if there is a copyright issue, then that nation-state's own laws, such as fair use, comes first, and nothing in Article 13 can overrule that. Once they've voted on the amendments, then it goes to the big vote, whether or not Article 13 will be passed or rejected, and obviously we want it overall to be rejected. So what you can do to help if you're unfortunate enough to be an EU citizen is you can write to your MEP and tell them to vote against Article 13 and make sure that it gets rejected. And if you would like to as well, you can let the MEP know that if you find out that they voted in favour of Article 13, that you will remember that if the MEP ever requires your vote or support in the future. Just let them know that you'll be taking names of the MEPs that vote in favour of Article 13 and let them know the reasons why you want it rejected. Just basically tell your MEP that this poses a massive risk of being abused in the future to completely destroy freedom of expression and freedom of speech in the European Union. This isn't a left or a right thing or a leave or remain thing. It doesn't matter where you sit on the political spectrum. Fucking Article 13 doesn't give a shit what your politics are. At the end of the day, it can affect all of us no matter what your opinions are. We're all affected by this. It doesn't matter what politics we have. This affects literally every single citizen of the European Union, regardless of what they think. Even if you love the EU and you want to stay in the EU still can make mistakes, and Article 13 is a huge fucking mistake. So if you are a EU supporter and you want the EU to be the best that it can be, then it is in your interest to make sure that Article 13 gets rejected. So please contact your MEP and tell them to vote against Article 13. Because for leavers like me, if Article 13 does get passed, that would just give us another amazing argument in convincing people why we should be leaving the EU. And you Remainers don't want that now, do you? TikTok. So email or write to your MEPs and tell them how you feel and tell them to reject Article 13. We all need to do our part to protect freedom of expression and freedom of speech in the European Union.
It's Count Dankula on YouTube. Everybody should subscribe.